YouTube. I was a little bit naughty the other day and bought myself a new amp, which I'm standing in front of, you can't see it. So, this is a Blackstar HT-5. I couldn't get the camera to reach to it, so I took a... And I couldn't find a photo online of the top panel of this model, so I just took a photo myself. Put it there. Rocking. So this is, there appears to be a few different versions of this. This is I assume an older one, the Mark 1 probably, and not the metal one. They all kind of look similar. This one's got silver knobs though. Yeah, so as you can see, I've got a wee bit of a Blackstar collection on the go. There's the Fly 3 and that's the ID Core 10. So I saw this advert on, it was on the other side of Edinburgh. It took me an hour and 20 minutes to go and get it, which should probably give you an indication of how cheap it was. It was a really bad advert. It only showed the sort of front of the amp from a distance in a blurry photo, and it made a big thing about having a microphone and lead. So it came with basically it was this mic, and it's like yeah, so high quality stuff. But to be fair, it did actually come with a decent microphone to jack lead, XLR to jack lead, which is useful for my Kramer, and a guitar lead, and it came with a foot switch as well. As you can just see there, changes the channel. So I phoned up and asked if I can get a photo of the top of the amp, and then it was because I thought, oh, it's an ID Core, not a bad price. Really like that ID Core. I wonder if it's a slightly bigger one. There's a picture. It's the HT-5. I know the Valvey one. Yeah. So this is the Valvey one. There's a lot of hatred for Blackstar because it's got a valve power amp and it's got a valve preamp, but some of the other stuff in between, it's got like the distortion channels kind of got bits of a distortion pedal in it, is how I understand it. You know, it's not necessarily 100% valve all the way, but it is a power amp to preamp, but some of the bits in the middle. But I think it's one of those things that I don't know that much about amps, but I know that the JCM 800, you could argue, isn't a real valve amp either, because it's got a solid state rectifier. I don't know what that means. So it's where you get to how truly tubey it is. Sounds like a valve amp to me. Yeah, so there's just internal 10-inch speaker. In fact, actually, someone said something. Is that 10-inch? Yes. So it's got a just running the internal 10-inch speaker just now. It does have. It's actually quite a cool system which I like on the back. Which I've not seen another amp. It's got like 3 sockets for a cabinet. One of them, the internal speaker, is like on a wee lead, so you physically plug the internal speaker in, so you can just unplug it if you want to disconnect it. So what you do is it's got like a 16 ohms or as one out, so that's the one that the internal speaker is plugged into. It's a 16 ohm speaker, and the other two are either 1 8 ohm or 2 16 ohms. So I can run basically my 3x12, which is a 16 ohm cabinet, and the internal speaker at the same time, which you normally can't do. So I can get 4 speakers, 4 being better than 1. On a side note, actually, when playing here the way I am, because the 3 speakers are down there and that speaker's there, tend to hear that one more when I'm using when I've got them all plugged in. So using my Strat, which I'm so much happier now with, I put a decent bridge pickup in it. Strat bridge pickup is always a little bit bright. Yeah, so as I said, I'm just running the internal speaker just now. I can actually just look at the TV screen and see all the knobs are, because it was only about 2 seconds ago I took that photo. So we're just using the clean channel, got the volume at, I can't really see in that photo. What would be the volume at? Well, that would be, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. So that would be 3, 6, 9, no, aye. The volume's at 1 on the clean channel. I'd imagine yeah, so the EQ will be for both channels. It's just the one EQ. There is one of the other ones which there's the photo I had on the screen until I went, hold on, there's extra knobs. It's got a tone for the clean channel as well. This is just got the clean channel. As you can see, an overdrive select button, which you can also do with this foot switch. Then you get the overdrive, you get gain and volume. I'll plug that in a minute. Then bass, middle, treble, and ISF, which is your infinite shaping feature or something. So far left it's meant to be American sounding, and then far right it's meant to be British sounding. Both of these have that. Even the wee, it's the one. It's just called EQ on the fly, which could do with a bit of a dusting. Let's be honest. So it's kind of a sort of EQ type thing. I've not really had much time to fidget about it. It sounds quite good in both directions. I've kind of got it in the middle, I think. Then an emulated output headphone socket with a switch that tells you whether you're emulating a 4x12 or a 1x12 cabinet. Not tried it. And then standby power. It's got a standby switch. My Laney doesn't have a standby switch. So basically every single time you turn it off and it goes and it's like, really, was there really not enough room? Could you not have just made the amp, that much bigger to take the extra switch? Also, I'd get my gripes out the way first. Again, knobs on the top, really annoying because I can't tell whether the amp's on or not. Obviously this is fine for most people, but I like having, if you've got the controls on the front, so I can turn on the bass amp and it's like, oh, is the bass amp on? Yes. There's a wee red light telling me it's on. This one, is it on? There is a wee red light, but you have to be here to see it. Yeah, which is annoying. I'm really enjoying having a trem in the Strat as well. It just seems right. Middle pickup. Fender gold lace sensor. Version 4. Neck pickup. And Scott's gonna love this, but he made me turn my reverb on in my Laney, I don't know, a few months ago, and I kind of just a touch, and I'm kind of noticing not having reverb now, which is a little bit annoying. But I could obviously, it's got an effects loop, so I could just buy a reverb pedal, stick it on the top. To be honest, I think a reverb pedal might be cost more than what I paid for the amp. Oh, before I go further, I meant to say this at the start, damn it. I meant to say like and subscribe, but I also meant to say live stream. Should I do it on Saturdays or Sundays? I did Sunday last week, so I'm thinking of maybe switching it about. The reason nobody turned up on Sunday because YouTube wouldn't let me upload the picture thing that announced it. So YouTube was knackered. I wasn't sure whether the live stream was going to work. There was something going funny with YouTube on Sunday. So I'm thinking maybe do it every alternate week, every Saturday and Sunday, because I don't like missing out folk, because there's a few folk that were on in the regulars on a Sunday night who gig on a Saturday night, better than me, so they gig like any proper musician. I don't. Although I do have a gig coming up, if you want to come and see after the end. We're playing the Dreadnought in Bathgate, which should be fun. I've been there twice to see 2 Rush conventions, because I went with my pal Wayne, even though I'm not a massive Rush fan. And I think I was the only person there who couldn't tell you what Geddy Lee has for breakfast. Everyone was every single word, every single song of every single album, everybody else there, and I'm like, yeah, I like Hemispheres, I could probably tell you the songs on that. 2112's good, yeah. There's some stuff on I can't remember, Favourite of the Kings I quite like as well. It's like, yeah. Everyone was really nice about it though, I have to say. I mean, it's like, I'm just here because my pal's here and for the booze, but I like Hemispheres and all that. That's fine, you're well, if you like hemispheres, you're okay by us. Apart from and I also met their producer guy. This has not turned into a very good amp demo video, has it? I might put a wee thing in saying if you want to hear the amp, go in 10 minutes. Yeah, so my point with Rush was it was kind of, you'll know exactly what I mean when I say it kind of makes me feel sick, because it's always it's quite difficult, and it's not, one of those things I never understood. I thought maybe it was for guitar players. Same a wee bit, I've always felt the same way about Steve Vai and Joe Satriani as well. You know, I can't imagine anybody liking it just as music, not being a guitarist or a drummer or a bass player, I suppose, if you're into Rush. But I mean, that's not. I don't think that is the case. A lot of these people don't play the guitar. It's just you got to, maybe just because I'm over analysing it in my head or something like that. But I do actually quite like Satriani and Steve Vai now as well. I always like the guys. I don't know if I'd want to listen to like a whole album, probably, maybe. I don't know. Sort of taste in it. Yeah, so I'll turn on the... Now, amp demo start. I'll put it in 11.5 minutes in the description. Amp demo. Here is my Blackstar HT-5 playing to the internal speaker using my 94 Japanese Fender Strat. It's got a 74. Damn, I still can't remember. I had the guitar to bits as well. There's 74, 75. It's in the back. Fender pickup, gold lace sensor, and a 1987 Japanese 62 reissue pickup, which I got a couple of weeks ago. I did have a DiMarzio in there, but I didn't like it. Like a stacked one. It wasn't good. I'm not sure whether maybe the switch was not working properly or something like that, but happier now anyway. Yeah, so we're on now, going to be 12 minutes. So start the demonstration. Clean volume, clean channel, all the knobs are pretty much at 12 o'clock. Apart from the clean, which is at 1. So it's probably quite loud. Sorry, these are just winged. I'll just put in something I know about. Well, let's get something to go here. what I did obviously forget there is I said I was going to put on the distortion channel and or the overdrive channel it's called. But obviously because I've just put the rhythm track into the loop pedal, in fact I can just do it there. So here's there's the clean channel. There's a distortion channel. Try a bit more distortion. So that's with the volume at nothing, as low as it goes. And I'll just put it at o'clock. It's quite confusing when you look at it. Oh no, I suppose it's 10%. So that'd be 5 would be up the way. So the gain's at 4 and the volume's at 1. So if I crank the gain up a bit. Rid of that. I think what I'm thinking of doing with this guitar is see you get like a compound radius fingerboard where it's curved at the bottom. This is a 7 1/4 inch radius, and then it gets flat at the top. I'm wondering if I might try and file the frets flat at the top to kind of so that the fingerboard won't be compound radius, but the just so I can get better bends. And I can get to there. It just doesn't go any higher. Quite noisy there. Governor pedal. Right, so unfortunately my rat pedal I need to put a new switch on it, so I'm using the Mosky rat, which I did a video ages ago when I first got it comparing the original rat to the Mosky one, and because I've been using the original rat now for a month, something like that, before the switch went dodgy, the Mosky one's not as good. So it's maybe one of those things that is like, I think the same thing kind of happens with guitars and amps as well. Your initial first 10 minutes isn't really enough to, if you play it for a week, play it for a few hours and then do a comparison. It still sounds alright. It was 12 quid after that. I don't think they're as cheap as that anymore. Also, the other pedal was I did a video last night. I kind of put the wrong video out by mistake, and I wasn't really paying attention. I did too many videos last week and ended up with a bit of a backlog, so I kind of don't like doing that. So this is today's video. I'm going to try and keep it as much as that, so I'll maybe have 1 or 2 in reserve in case for some reason I'm out or I'm in the studio or something like that. But try and keep them a bit more alive. So this is the red dirt pedal. which it is noisy even with a proper isolated power supply. So I played last night. So there's my demo with the Strat. I was going to try plugging in the other speaker. I was going to try sticking like the SG or some humbuckers in it, but I'll maybe do that later, another point, once I've had they had the amp in there a couple of weeks. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. It's like I'm not sure whether it's as good as the Laney. It seems it's only 5 watt. The Laney's 15, but it sounds a lot better through its internal speaker than the Laney does, I think, and which happens quite a lot with the wee amps. It's like not often. I think they're let down by, I don't know how much of it's the actual speaker, how much of it's there's more to like a speaker cabinet or like a box than just what speaker you put in it. It's an awful lot more to do with, like, you know, these things. You know, it's not to do with how thick the width, the outside's made of, how much it weighs, how it's ported, and all these things. You know, there is a technical side to it. I did actually build a speaker cabinet myself, which I should really try loud to see what it's like. There's one out below this Marshall that I built myself, which is a 2x12. So obviously you need to have good speakers, but I think same with pickups. There's an element of choosing the right speaker, the one you want. So it's like if you're mad into, if you want a Strat sound, then having this guitar with its very intentionally stratty choosing pickups, which are really thin and stratty sounding, that's great. Whereas if you want a Les Paul sound, you don't buy a Strat, you buy a Les Paul. So it's like there's a wee bit of that in it. You know, if you want, like, if you're going to be playing, I don't know, like down-tuned metal or something, this kind of guitar's not really going to want to be in, you know, drop C with sheds again. Maybe there's some people like that, but very much a horses for courses thing. What a terrible analogy. I've not even used the tone word yet either. It doesn't have a tone control, but it seems like a really nice wee amp. So far my entire Blackstar experiences have been awesome. Like the Fly was the first one I got, and it's like, how can you get an amp that actually sounds good, that's that size and runs on batteries? that's how you can. And even the ID core as well, it's got a mad stereo thing going on it where you put the effects on. It's like, it sounds much bigger than it is, but even then, that's like, these are eons above like the 10 watt amps I used to get when I was learning 20 years ago. Totally fine amp. But this thing, I'm liking it. I'm wondering how loud it goes. I wonder if is it gigawatts. See, 5 watts seems like 5 watts seems like a pathetic amount. Give me 5 watt. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah. You get the Marshall, you get the wee Marshall at 50 watt, the big one at 100. Richie Blackmore at 200 watt Marshalls. I've got it clean, just out of it. It's still sounding good at that volume. That's me just over half. Got it. Nearly at full. It's actually holding it clean quite well, isn't it? Still didn't say that was clean. That's only 5 watts. Obviously you can't hear me when I'm talking. It's that loud. That's me shouting as loud as I can. I'm not even hitting the guitar hard. Now I had it up loud. I can't remember how loud it was. So I mean, for being the person, if you'd asked me, let's go back 6 months ago, I only had the one amp. Well, go back before I bought the wee Laney, I only had the Softtech. That's kind of all I needed, and the big Marshall bass amp, which was too big, so I needed a smaller bass amp. Got a smaller bass amp. Turned out to be much bigger than I thought it was. I've actually got another bass amp. I did a video for yesterday, which I'm going to sell on. Kind of similar sort of size to this, a 100 watt, 15-inch speaker Vox, which I'll be selling quite cheap if the guy, if Tony at Blitzkrieg doesn't want it. And then I bought a wee Valve PV because it was quite cheap, like a Royal 8 it's called, an 8-inch speaker, 5 watt again, and this has a big advantage over the wee, I mean that's a 5 watt as well, so you're comparing like for like, although you're not really, because I think that's about 5 times the price of the wee PV when it was new. It works really, I think it sounds really good in the studio at volume, like through a 4x12, because I put a special extension cabinet socket on the back of it, and I thought it was fantastic and absolutely ripping. What it doesn't do very well is play really quietly, which is kind of why you would think you would want a wee 5 watt amp, but you really have to have it up at a certain volume. You can get sort of around it by having the volume up at kind of half and then having the volume control on the guitar at like 1, and then it sounds good, but you just can't, it doesn't sound great at really quiet volumes. That's where this thing comes in, and this does it as well, but it sounds like way better than you can get with any of these. If you're talking about you want to have it at a play in a in a shared, with noise with bad neighbours or something like that, and you don't want it to be louder than the TV, the wee Fly is amazing for that, and as is that as well. Just these just work in volume ranges up to the bit, but once you get up to the sort of Valve ones, they seem to be, you need to have more volume to make them actually work properly. This one seems to be pretty good at that. It's it sounds pretty good, quiet. I wouldn't have said that was quiet, but it's not loud. I normally look at it as sort of acousticy volume. What volume's this at? This is a wee acoustic. Yes, I would even argue that that's that wee, the small bodied acoustic's actually louder than the normal volume I use. Oh, I managed to make it half an hour. How annoying. So how do people do 3-minute demos of these things? I don't know. Maybe they just don't talk hundreds of shite in the middle. But I do. So Blackstar HT-5. There's a metal version. Don't really know the difference. It's got a tone control somewhere at the start, and the newer one, the one you can buy just now, is the Mark II, which has reverb on it, and it's also got half watt mode, which this one doesn't have. It's just 5. You can't cut it down to half a watt. But I mean, half a watt. I don't know. Maybe if it's it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you don't want to wake the wife up. You're sitting there trying not to not to play too loud. Maybe that's when you want the half watt version. But so give me a shout if you want me to do the live stream. I did Sunday last week, so I'll probably do tomorrow night. But if anyone has it, I don't know. I tried doing the 2 thing. I could do a sober one on a Saturday. Sober Saturday. Is that going to be that much fun? Don't know. Half an hour. I've just talked rubbish the whole time. Rock on. Love you all. Catch you later. Cheers.